Imagine a world gripped by an invisible enemy, a silent killer sweeping across continents with terrifying speed. It was the Black Death, a scourge so profound that it wiped out a third of Europe's population in a few short years. In a time before microscopes, before antibiotics, before even a rudimentary understanding of germ theory, what hope did humanity have against such a relentless foe? At first, there was only terror, superstition, and a desperate scramble for prayers and panaceas. But amidst the chaos, in the bustling maritime republics that served as the gateways of global trade, a different kind of defense began to emerge. It wasn't medicine as we know it, but rather a brilliant, pragmatic blend of logistics, foresight, and what we might call public health engineering. This is the story, unearthed by lost archives, of the forgotten medieval technologies that literally saved lives. Our story begins in places like Venice and Ragusa, modern-day Dubrovnik. These cities were economic powerhouses, but their very prosperity, built on seafaring trade, made them exquisitely vulnerable. Ships arrived daily from plague-ridden lands, bringing not just exotic silks and spices, but also the deadly cargo of disease. It was here, out of urgent necessity, that the radical concept of isolation was born. They called it 40 giorni, 40 days. The term, and the practice, would later evolve into quarantine. Why 40 days? The number held biblical and astrological significance, but more importantly, it was a practical observation. It was roughly the period required for most symptoms of the plague to manifest, or for the disease to simply burn itself out in an infected individual. A ship or person might arrive seemingly healthy, but after 40 days, any latent infection would almost certainly have revealed itself, or passed. But how do you enforce a 40-day waiting period when the economic lifeline of your city depends on the free flow of goods and people? This is where the forgotten engineering truly shines. These port cities didn't just tell ships to wait, they built the infrastructure for them to do so. They created dedicated isolation facilities, known as lazarettos. Imagine a barren island off the coast, perhaps a rocky outcrop or a sandy quay. This wasn't just a convenient parking lot for ships. These lazarettos were meticulously planned, purpose-built complexes. They featured separate docks where incoming ships could moor, safely away from the main port. Warehouses were constructed where goods could be unloaded, aired out, fumigated with aromatic herbs, and inspected, a medieval form of sanitary processing. The true marvel, however, was in the human separation. The lazarettos included dedicated living quarters, often rough barracks or small, self-contained houses, where passengers and crew could reside during their enforced isolation. These weren't luxurious accommodations, but they were a crucial buffer. They prevented potentially infected individuals from ever setting foot on the mainland until deemed safe. Walls, watchtowers, and even separate chapels for religious observance underscore the level of detailed planning. It was an early form of containment architecture, a physical barrier designed to break the chain of transmission. Beyond the lazarettos, cities implemented other engineering solutions. Port authorities enforced strict regulations. Ships could only anchor at designated, isolated spots. Health officers, precursors to modern epidemiologists, boarded vessels, checking manifests and the health of the crew. They created buffer zones and sanitary cordons, sometimes even building physical walls or establishing checkpoints to control the movement of people and goods into and out of the city. Filth, long recognized as a breeding ground for disease, even if the mechanism wasn't understood, was often systematically removed from city streets, another form of public health sanitation. Did it stop every outbreak? No, the plague was too relentless, too poorly understood. But these pragmatic, engineered solutions dramatically slowed the spread. They bought precious time, reduced mortality, and saved countless lives that would otherwise have been lost. They represented a monumental leap from superstitious remedies to evidence-based interventions, driven by observation and practical logic. These medieval quarantines and lazarettos were the foundational blueprints for modern public health systems. They demonstrated the power of collective action, strategic infrastructure, and intelligent design in combating disease. They are a testament to human ingenuity even in the darkest of times, a forgotten chapter of engineering that echoes through every airport health check, every epidemiological quarantine, and every public health initiative we rely on today. At Lost Archives, we believe these stories are not just history, they are a profound reminder of our enduring capacity to adapt, to innovate, and to protect one another.